Elisa Barnes, a student at the University of Illinois, had been living off campus in a small two-bedroom apartment. Lately, she'd been noticing weird things. Food missing from the fridge, the bathroom light left on when she got home. Even the TV volume slightly changed. At first, she blamed her roommate, who swore she wasn't around during those times. Elisa thought maybe she was just stressed from school. But it kept happening. Little things out of place. It started feeling less like forgetfulness and more like something was wrong. So she set up her phone in her bedroom to record while she was gone for class. When she watched the footage later, her blood ran cold. A man, dirty and barefoot, climbed down slowly from the crawl space above her closet. He walked around, opened the fridge, and even used the bathroom, then crawled back up. Police found he'd been living there for weeks. He'd snuck in during a party and never left. Elisa moved out the same night. In September 2014, 19-year-old University of Virginia student Hannah Graham went missing after a night out with friends. Her last text said she was being followed. She was last seen walking alone along Route 29, a stretch of highway already linked to multiple unsolved disappearances. Her body was found weeks later, hidden deep in the woods. The man arrested, Jesse Matthew, was connected to other attacks and murders in the same region. He had stalked women for years. Police believe there are more victims who were never found. Locals say Route 29 is cursed, and many refuse to drive it at night. In 2011, an online ad went up on Craiglist offering a job on a cattle farm in Ohio. Full-time work, free room and board. It sounded perfect, especially for people struggling with money. Several men responded. Some were never seen again. When police investigated, they discovered a man named Richard Beasley, along with a teenage accomplice, was behind the ad. He lured victims to a remote location, then robbed and murdered them. One man, Scott Davis, managed to escape after being shot in the arm. He ran for his life through the woods and helped lead police to the killer. Beasley was sentenced to death. The boy got life in prison. The case shocked the country and changed how people use Craigslist forever. Elisa Lamb, a 21-year-old college student from Vancouver, was staying at the Cecil Hotel in downtown LA in 2013. She was traveling alone, documenting her trip online. Then she vanished. Security footage from the hotel elevator showed her acting bizarre, pressing random buttons, peeking out like she was being followed, waving her arms and talking to something unseen. 2 weeks later, guests complained of low water pressure and a strange taste in the tap water. Maintenance workers checked the rooftop tanks and found Elisa's body inside one. There were no signs of foul play, and the only entrance to the tank was locked. Her death was ruled accidental. But to this day, no one can explain how she got inside or what she was running from. In 2014, Derek and Maria Broadus bought a 6-bedroom home in a quiet New Jersey neighborhood. Just days after closing, they received a letter in the mail. It started politely, welcoming them to the neighborhood. But then it got creepy. The letter writer called himself the Watcher and claimed the house had been watched for generations. He knew their children's names. He asked disturbing questions like, "Have they found what's in the walls yet?" More letters came. The Watcher claimed to be obsessed with the house and said their kids would be taken. Terrified, the family never moved in. They filed a lawsuit and tried to resell the home. The identity of the Watcher was never discovered. In 2007, 3 families in Tacoma started receiving terrifying phone calls. The callers described what they were wearing, where they were standing in their homes, and repeated private conversations no one else should have heard. Their voicemails filled up with threats. One message said, "I know where you are. I'm watching." Even after changing numbers, phones, and SIM cards, the calls kept coming. Police traced the calls back to the victims' own phones. Investigators believe someone had hacked into the family's devices, possibly through spyware. but the case was never solved. The families eventually moved out of the area and went off-grid. Zona Hiestershoe was found dead in her home in January 1897. Her husband claimed she'd fallen and hit her head. The local doctor quickly ruled it natural causes. But Zona's mother said her daughter's ghost had appeared to her multiple times, saying she was strangled. The mother insisted the body be exhumed. Turns out the ghost was right. Zona's neck had been broken. Her husband, Edward Shue, was arrested and convicted of her murder. The story made national headlines. It's the only known U.S. case where a ghost testimony helped solve a murder. In 2014, LaToya Ammons and her 3 children moved into a small rental home in Gary, Indiana. Almost immediately, strange things started happening. Swarms of black flies in winter, shadowy figures, and footsteps in empty rooms. Then it got worse. Her children began acting violently. One boy was said to have levitated. Another growled in a deep voice and spoke Latin. A hospital worker reported seeing one of the kids walk backward up a wall in front of multiple witnesses. Police, Child Protective Services, and a local priest all confirmed witnessing unexplainable activity. The priest performed multiple exorcisms. The family moved. The house was eventually demolished. Many believe it was one of the most documented cases of demonic possession in the U.S. So you've just heard 8 true nightmares, real incidents. That prove reality is far more terrifying than any story we could make up. These aren't legends. They happened in our neighborhoods, our cities, our homes. Evil doesn't need a mask. It walks among us. If you made it this far, you might want to check behind you.